All right, let me ask you something. What if one tiny, almost invisible decision you make today could completely reshape your entire life, say 3 months from now? It sounds kind of wild, right? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into, a concept known as the butterfly effect.
Yeah, I know, it sounds a little out there. A butterfly changing my life? But just stick with me for a minute. We're not actually talking about insects, of course. We're talking about a really powerful principle that, once you get it, could be the key to unlocking, well, everything you're capable of.
Okay, so to really get how this works for you, we've got to rewind a bit. Let's go back to where this whole idea came from in the first place. And yeah, it started with science.
So, check this out. This quote comes from a scientist named Edward Lorenz back in the 1960s. And when he said this, he wasn't being literal, you know? He was using the butterfly as this incredible metaphor to explain a totally groundbreaking idea.
So here's the bottom line. The butterfly effect is all about how these tiny, seemingly meaningless actions can ripple out and create these massive, huge results down the road. It's like a tiny flap of a wing that eventually leads to a huge change. And that change, well, that change could be the future of your life.
Okay, that's the big sciencey idea, but now let's bring it home. This is where it gets personal. We're going to take this huge scientific theory and turn it into something you can actually use in your life. This is where the real transformation starts. So what's our time frame? Just 3 months. That's it. And look, for these next 3 months, we're not talking about a frantic race to some finish line. Think of it as the beginning of something we're going to call your butterfly wing movement. And the whole point of this movement isn't to hit one specific goal. Nope. It's about becoming the kind of person who can achieve any goal. It all comes back to this amazing analogy. Before you can chop down the tree, you got to sharpen the axe. And for the next 3 months, you are the tool we're going to sharpen, and we're going to start with your mind.
So how do we actually do that? How do we sharpen the axe? Well, the first big piece of the puzzle is mastering your internal world. And listen, this isn't about some fuzzy, just think positive stuff. We're going way deeper than that. We're getting granular.
You know, a mindset isn't just this big, mysterious thing that happens to you. It's actually built from the ground up in a pretty logical way. If you look here, you can see it all comes down to one thing, your individual thoughts. It's kind of like how a week is made of days and a day is made of hours. That single individual thought, that's the one thing you can actually grab onto and control.
Let me give you a perfect real-world example. Your alarm goes off in the morning, and that thought just pops into your head, right? Just 5 more minutes. That right there, that's the butterfly's wing. It seems so small, so insignificant. But if you can catch that one thought and choose to get up and get moving instead, you've just created a brand new ripple. You see? You control your thoughts, you start to control your entire destiny.
Okay, so once you start getting a handle on your thoughts, you can actually start directing your focus where you want it to go. And that brings us right to our second pillar, intentionally using that focus to learn.
And this story about Steve Jobs is just the perfect example. You can't always know what piece of knowledge is going to be valuable later. I mean, he took a calligraphy class just because he thought it was interesting. Years down the line, that totally random skill becomes the cornerstone of Apple's entire design philosophy. It's just like he said, you can only connect the dots looking backward.
So here's the mission for these next 3 months. Build your toolkit. Seriously, every single time you choose to learn something new, instead of just mindlessly scrolling, you're adding another dot to your map. You're flapping those wings, and you just never know which one of those dots is going to create the storm that leads to your future success.
All right, that brings us to our third and final pillar of this whole movement, building real, solid confidence. And I'm not talking about arrogance or that fake it till you make it stuff. This is about building confidence through actual, deliberate practice.
In this technique right here, it is incredibly powerful. It's all about honest self-reflection. But the real magic happens in steps 3 and 4. Recording yourself on video. Now, this is not for social media. This is a private tool just for you. You're going to watch it back and analyze it. Are you talking too fast? Are your hands distracting? Is your tone of voice engaging? By making a detailed video and really studying it, you get to be your own coach. This private analysis is your secret weapon. Every single day, you find one small thing to improve, and you build real solid confidence from the inside out.
And this is a really important point to remember. The goal here is confidence, not overconfidence, right? Real confidence, it comes from being competent and self-aware. It's quiet, it's steady. Overconfidence is loud and, honestly, pretty fragile. We're definitely aiming for the first one. Stay humble, stay curious.
So, we've covered the mindset, the learning, and the confidence.
You literally have the entire framework now. And it all boils down to a pretty simple choice.
When you really look at it, your options are crystal clear. You can keep doing what you're doing, and in a couple of years, you'll be pretty much the same person. Or you can embrace this 3-month movement. You can start making those tiny little flaps, controlling your thoughts, learning new things, building your confidence. And the result? Well, the result is a completely new you.
If you start this process, you seriously won't be the same person 3 months from now. You'll be someone who understands things better, who feels more confident, who can tackle goals with so much more ease. Your wing moment, it starts right now. So, are you ready to make that first flop?